You're tuned to Tennessee Mornings on Fox 17. The best way to start your day with news, weather, traffic, plus entertainment and more.
Good morning, everybody. Thanks for watching Tennessee Mornings. We're going to make it worth your while. The next time you travel, how would you like to skip long security lines, fly first class without paying a fortune, and get free upgrades to better hotel rooms? Say what? It's all possible if you know some of the top road warrior secrets.
And joining us this morning from Los Angeles is the ultimate road warrior who travels close to 250,000 miles. Wow,
That's
250,000 miles every year. We have travel expert Joel Widzer with us. Thank you, Joel, for joining us, and tell us some of your top secrets since you travel so often.
Well, hi, Kelly and Charlie. You know, I think one of the first things that you need to do is kind of shy away from always trying to find the lowest fare and the lowest rate and the lowest car rental price, because what happens is you very often skip things like getting a first class upgrade or a nicer hotel room, or even some ways of getting through the security line. And one of the things that I think is very crucial these days is loyalty. Right now in the travel industry, loyalty is very much rewarded. And one of the things that I do with all my travel is I have a select group of travel providers that I stick with. And the thing that does is that they reciprocate my goodwill, so that they say, okay, this guy's loyal, we're going to give him a few extra things. And even if you don't travel very much, you can still do it by leveraging yourself with your credit card, earning points, and that sort of thing. And you know, I think one thing that I like right now is a lot of airlines have sort of restricted the ways that you can get airline seats and using those awards. So hotels really have a great bargain right now. And one of the best programs right now is the program by the Carlson Group of Hotels. They just revamped their Gold Points Plus program. So now travelers can get like a 50 to 100% premium in their points without any increase in redemptions. So basically you get more bang for your buck in 71 countries and 965 properties.
Okay, now, Joel, these are wonderful. I know they keep a record of you in the computer, and they know you're a regular customer. They'll offer you discounts, give you some perks, upgrades, that sort of thing. Let's go back to the security line thing here. You mentioned skip the long lines and security. How do you do that?
Yeah, you know, that's one of the biggest things that people really want to do is get through that security line, because, you know, when you go to the airport, they basically have two lines. They have one where maybe it takes people 1 hour to get through, and then they have another line that only takes about 5 minutes. So there's a few things. One, if you get at least the minimum elite level with your airline, and you can do that by earning miles in your credit card. There's some ways that you can apply that to what they call elite qualifying miles. The other thing is if you have a membership with an airline lounge, and what a lot of people do who don't travel frequently, they'll buy a day pass. So maybe that will cost anywhere from $25, usually about $25, and that allows you to go into the airport lounge. In fact, I know some people that carry around a couple of them. They never use it. They just get through the security lounge. So that, you know, that's something that's really helpful, and that will speed you through. But, you know, another thing, talking about kind of being in a city that you're not familiar with, is it's also important to understand that city. And something that I do when I'm traveling, and a lot of road warriors do, is they rely on something called the superpages.com. Because what's good about that, Charlie and Kelly, is that it gives you directions, it gives you information about local attractions, local restaurants, opening, closing times, and it's a nice, handy device to use.
Absolutely. Okay, we're getting on that plane with all that recycled nasty air, and the kid behind you is sneezing. How do you keep yourself healthy?
The one thing that is a problem with traveling so much is I get a lot of sore throats. And that's something, a lot of times I come home and I have this sore throat. So something that I started to do is I put this item called Simply Gargle into my travel bag. And it's really nice because it's TSA friendly, so I can put it into my briefcase, women can put it into their purse, get through security. But it's really neat because it's a saltwater rinse, and basically it's full of vitamins, antioxidants, and herbs. And it's something, whenever I start feeling a sore throat, I just go ahead and I use it, and it's really helped me out.
You know, one thing, Joel, I've noticed that you can get a lot further if you have a problem, or if you're secretly looking for some upgrades and perks, if you're nice when you travel. If you create a ruckus, you're going to get nowhere.
You know, so many times people in the travel industry, they tell me, hey, when someone approaches us and they're aggressive and they're nasty, they're just not going to do anything. And a lot of times, particularly at hotels, when you go up to the front desk and you're a little bit rude to the person, they just shut you down.
Yeah.
But it's amazing, and I hear this also from gate agents at the airlines all the time. In fact, I had one friend of mine who was stuck in Miami, and they had to get on a flight, and they wanted to come back to Los Angeles at night. The person in front of them was just giving this gate agent just a super hard time, saying that it was all their fault, that the flight was canceled and everything. But what they did was, when my friend got up there, they said, hey, you know what, I'm sorry for how that that person treated you, take a minute, take a deep breath. So that person put my friend on a flight out of Fort Lauderdale, and they upgraded them to first class.
There you go.
So it pays to be nice.
It does pay to be nice, and you say just ask. That's all you have to do is just ask.
You know, it's amazing, Charlie and Kelly, is that a lot of times just by asking, and particularly as we're going into this Christmas travel season, because what happens is airlines particularly will fill up in coach. So the coach sections of the plane will be full, and what they'll have to do is they'll have to put some passengers up to first class. And this also happens at hotels. You know, the lower rate rooms will go first. So if you just ask, and one thing I always say is I say, you know, if you have to move someone up to first class, or if you have to move someone up to a nice suite, I'll take the bullet. I'll bite the bullet, and I'll be the person to do that for you.
Joel, as you
Thank
travel those
you,
250,000 miles annually, be safe out there. Nice to have you on the show today.
Hey, thank you.
You betcha.
Thank you very
Joel
much.
Widzer joining us with the, well, he's the road warrior. Definitely with 250,000 miles. Think of that.
I
That's
thought
a lot.
25,000 was a lot, and then I looked and I said, oh, wait, there's another zero there. He
Air
is
miles.
really all over the place.
But, my friends, be nice and ask.
There
And
you
we'll
go.
be right back.